So we decided to implement a PIM solution. I think we had scaled up quite rapidly, and as a result, a lot of our systems were probably not quite built for scale. We got to the point where we realized we needed a PIM system, specifically in order to launch products more efficiently. We had an existing tech stack built around Shopify, which we were quite happy with. And so we looked for a system that could easily integrate into Shopify, but also into some of our other systems. And Origin in particular ticked all of those boxes. It was very flexible in terms of the various integrations that it offered. The team at Retail 247 immediately said essentially there's no problem around integrating into those, but also just in terms of product uploads and so on. Yeah, it really offered all of the features that we were looking for. So we chose Origin from Retail 247 for a number of reasons. We started off speaking to a number of different possible companies, and I think Origin really stood out. On the one hand, the Retail 247 team clearly brought a lot of experience in the retail sector, and it was very clear that they understood exactly what we were looking for from the get-go. I think the initial pitches, it was very clear that the solution that they had already in place was ticking most of the boxes that we had, but also that was flexible enough and customizable enough to cater to any additional needs. In terms of the implementation, I would say it was a very smooth process. We kicked off by doing a process mapping exercise with Retail 247. As part of that, the team at Retail 247 essentially reviewed all of our existing processes, which was on the one hand really nice just to get a full mapping. I'd say in addition, it was nice to get people who had worked in retail for quite some time to review it and give us a bit of feedback as well regarding any places where there were probably further efficiencies for us to be gained. Once the mapping had been done, we had a session to essentially discuss almost them feeding back to us, here's what we understand what your system currently does, and here's how we see the Origin system essentially saving time and making processes more efficient. We then had weekly calls during the implementation process, as part of which the team essentially updated us on any progress, asked us any questions. I'd say overall it was a very smooth process, and we always had the sense that the Retail 247 team exactly knew kind of any questions or any problems that we kind of foresaw. They immediately had answers for all of those. So it was, yeah, perfect. Retail 247 team was incredibly knowledgeable. You could tell that all of the team members had a lot of experience in retail, experience also with D2C brands like ourselves. They were very professional in general, kind of clearly understood any problems or questions that we had, very fast response times to kind of find solutions, and very flexible in finding solutions as well. I don't think there was a single instance where the team said that can't be done or there's no way kind of to figure this out. Usually we'll say, yep, we get that, let's get back to you. So yeah, overall, really a pleasure to work with. I think for us, we started off as a business with a very limited product range, and one of the big kind of plans for growth, as for I guess any scaling business in the retail sector, is definitely the expansion of our product range into loads of different categories, but also in terms of depth of each of the ranges. I think definitely Origin will enable us to do that and to deliver products, especially on time. I think a big blocker for us has always been just kind of the entire process that comes leading up to launching a product, getting it on not just onto our own systems, onto our ERP, onto Shopify, but also getting it onto all of our partner websites. And definitely Origin has made that process a lot easier. But also the management actually following that in terms of price changes as we work with more and more partners. We definitely foresee that being much, much easier. New product uploads, in particular with some of the third parties that we work with, also a lot easier. So yeah, definitely in terms of scalability, it just gives us a lot more confidence to launch loads of products. Looking into the future, we definitely would like to work with more Retail 247 systems. And I think Archean definitely came up during the early conversations. And I think looking at our tech stack, we definitely could see Archean fitting into that very, very nicely. I think especially as we expand into physical retail, but also as we grow the product range and kind of work with more and more third parties, I think there's an increased need for a system that on the one hand does all of the usual stuff like order management, inventory management, but also allows for a lot of flexibility in terms of allocation and replenishment into stores, setting different stock buffers for different stock pools across different partners, essentially all the things that a simple out-of-the-box system might not be able to do, but that actually the retail 24/7 solution would be able to deliver for us. So we definitely are looking to explore that further. And obviously the integration with Shopify and with Origin as well are huge pluses for that.